Welcome back to the Too High Mcfly Movie Podcast, everybody. We thank you guys for giving us a listen and choosing us as your podcast today. My name is Kevin Lyons.
Daniel de Sangre.
Jose Ramos.
And this weekend is Comic-Con weekend. We're getting a lot of trailers, a lot of great big movie news and TV show news. And it's always an exciting weekend. I miss Comic-Con. What about you guys?
Dude, definitely. And it's such like a nerd holiday. You know what I mean? Like for all the nerds, we all get so excited every time. And it used to just be obviously about just comic books, but now it's so much television and movies that are introduced and the whole panels, and it's awesome.
I love it. It's like the nerds version of sports off season, like free agency. It's like, what's the news? What's gonna happen? Who's gonna get casted?
And it's cool because at first when we started hearing announcements about what was going to be at Comic-Con, it didn't feel like there was going to be a lot of stuff. I mean, it seemed like everybody was pulling out. Nobody was really doing anything big. But then this weekend happened. We actually ended up getting a fair share of awesome news. So let's go jump into that. What do you say, guys?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's go to Comic-Con. Comic-Con and movie trailers that they go hand in hand. So what do you guys want to talk about first?
We should touch on the It trailer. It too. That was one of the first ones we saw.
Yeah, that was good, man. I mean, because we're all excited about the first movie, and we obviously they're going to do the sequel because they split the story up into two parts. And were you guys nervous at all about how the sequel is going to be?
Yeah, I am, just because in the original made-for-television movie, part 2 was always the weaker one, and even in the story, it was always the weaker part of the story. You know, the kid's story was always way more interesting. So I was always like, okay, well, the first movie was so good, and it's hard for anybody to be able to duplicate anything for a sequel, period, right? For directors, usually when the first one's so good, the second one's not. So already you have two things working against you. And when we saw the first teaser where you saw Beverly with the old woman,
yeah, that was creepy.
Yeah, that scene, I was like, oh man, I think he might have nailed it. Watching the trailer, I'm like, he nailed it. Like, this movie looks so freaking good, man.
Yeah, I was a little wary also for the same reasons. Part 2 of the original was the weaker part by a landslide, as in it wasn't good.
Yes.
Anyway, except for Pennywise. And the other thing is, so I feel the strongest part of the first one was the chemistry between the kids.
Yeah.
Them as a group together fit very well. So now you need these adult versions to have that same chemistry. So to have a completely different group, different age set, match the chemistry that the original had, that's going to be very hard. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
How did you guys feel about the casting of the older version of the kids when they first announced them?
I like it. I thought James McAvoy is such a great actor. Yeah. Bill Hader, freaking hell yeah, man! I'm so excited about that. The only one I wish they would have gotten was Chris Pratt as Ben.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Apparently the director wanted him, but he's so booked that he's just scheduling wise they couldn't do it.
And when they announced that guy who's playing the older version of Ben, I remember being like, okay, whatever. But then seeing in the trailer and in his face, I almost felt like I could see the younger version of him right in the face. It's like, oh shit! Actually, I think they did do a pretty good job.
You know what's funny is that the guy that they casted for Michael,
the Old Spice guy, right?
Yeah, the Old Spice guy. Like, that's it. That's random. But.
If we don't hear the little whistle,
I bet you it was very first time we introduced him. You'll see it, or Pennywise is doing it. It's like, oh, come on.
I mean, and Chastain was a great haul for them to bring her in.
I mean, that just seemed like the obvious choice. She's like the most famous redhead that we have. But she's also like a great actress.
Yeah.
But I felt like the trailer itself was really good. It felt scary without giving away too much of the scares. It felt like they were just giving us flashes of all the stuff that was going to be happening in the movie with a little bit of narration.
Dude, and is that an origin story? Like, are we seeing an origin story of him?
Well, in the first movie, they actually filmed an origin of him, and I guess it was too graphic to be put in the movie, and so it looks like they're going to be doing it for this movie.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's good. And one of the things is, so I love the first one, but one of my complaints of it was that in the original, Pennywise really messed with them, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
You get that jokester aspect of it while still being creepy at the same time.
Yeah.
And I feel there wasn't that many moments like that in the original. You got a little bit in the house when the kid like breaks his leg his arm, and he's like messing with him.
Yeah.
But it was mostly more towards the
Monster.
creepy
Yes.
monster Pennywise, not the I'm gonna fuck with you and joke around, that Freddy Krueger style stuff.
You know what? I will agree to that because he didn't play into the clown aspect.
Exactly. And from this trailer, I feel like we're probably going to get a little bit more of that. So you see with the House of Mirror, he's messing with him, has his, his tongue on the mirror, and he's just kind of clowning around.
Yeah.
And I look forward to that because that was one of my minor complaints of the original.
Yeah.
But even with the original, I mean, like, I'm glad that they did it differently, but did it good differently. I mean, like, he was really great in the first movie, and if you just don't want him to copy Tim Curry, you know what I mean. So, but it is cool that they are going to go a little bit more comedic with like the way he tortures the kids. So I don't know, that looks cool. I'm liking all the imagery from the movie so far. It looks really great, and that voice he was using when he's talking about I was asleep for 27 years, that shit is creepy, man.
He's been waiting.
Yeah, he's been waiting. He's really creepy.
Man, that actor's did such a great job with that character. It feels very like Heath Ledger when he did the Joker. You know what I mean? Very different interpretation than Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
But like you like it. Like it's so different that you can't compare them. They're just very different performances. Yeah. That's what I feel like with
I'm sold.
Something I noticed in this trailer though that I don't remember in the original, James McAvoy was running around the funhouse and he was chasing that kid. And it wasn't his brother Georgie. Who was he chasing?
I think he just says boy, kid. Yeah.
But he kept on saying Gabe, and he was chasing. I just watched the trailer right before we watched started this, and it
I thought he was saying hey, but I only watched it once.
He was like Gabe.
You know what? It could end up being
like his son or something.
Yeah, or at least a stepson maybe, just because remember in the original he's married to the woman that was in Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, but yeah.
I like that clown house shot though with the swinging clowns inside the fun house. That looks like it's gonna be cool.
Dude, it looks the visuals. You could tell that there's a lot for the actors to play with in terms of like their set designs. Like it looks fun, man. Nice. James McAvoy.
Speaking of visuals,
yes,
I think this is a perfect time to get into Cats.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man! I was the first one that saw it, and I said, "Dude, you guys need to stop what you're doing. You guys need to watch this right now."
It's so weird. I mean, like, I don't want to rag on the actual Broadway musical because that's its own thing.
It's its own thing.
But when you cross it over to cinematic universe and CGI looks like shit, we're gonna rip on it, man.
Dude, I mean, it looked as bad to me as the Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, when the first design when they showed us that, I was like, "What the fuck is that?" That's what I saw when I saw Cats. Like, who approved this? Who thought this looked good?
It's so weird because they tried so hard to make them look like cats. Even when they made them smaller, I realized that they made them smaller, I just started laughing. But they didn't make their noses look like cats. They made their noses look like people. It was so weird.
I felt like they were in the process of transforming them into cats, and then they got caught in the buffering stage.
Where it's rendering, and they're just
they're just stuck there. Like, we'll go with that.
Yeah. Oh man,
it did. And like, I think what would have been better is just put them in the fucking suits.
Yeah,
who cares?
How difficult is that to do? It's not that difficult.
It's not that difficult because I know what I'm watching. So watching them as cats does nothing to improve the story that you're telling me, other than now, like distracting me. Now it's worse.
It's taking you out
doing
of it.
damage. Yeah, like nah.
Yeah, exactly. I can't tell you what was said in this trailer or story-wise what was happening because I was just thinking about, damn, that looks bad.
Okay.
Like, ooh, that looks creepy.
Okay, here's my question for you. When we say Cats trailer, what's the very first image you think of in that trailer? What actor?
It was I forget what actor it was. The blue
orange
face.
For me. It was the orange cat, and you get that visual when he like rolls off, and it just looks really bad.
To me, it's Judi Dench. When I see her and she turns away, I'm like, "Why, Judy? You did Judy wrong. Like, man, you did her wrong."
Oh, crazy.
Oh, bad.
All right,
let's
cough
move on
out that
from the
hairball.
Yeah, let's go bury that in the kitty litter.
The next one, Picard.
Surprisingly looks really awesome. I was never a
does.
Next Generation or Star Trek fan, other than maybe the J.J. Abrams films. I like the first one, but I never watched the shows. Did you guys?
And I'm not sure. I thought his character died, didn't he, or something?
I
I'm
don't
not sure
know.
what the
Like
story
Kevin,
is.
I was also not a big follower of
I
Star
wasn't
Trek.
either, yeah.
In there, I like the first two J.J. Abrams. That is the extent of my Star Wars.
Or Star Trek.
I mean, of Star Trek.
Oh, that was a nerd mistake right there.
I know. That's why I had to correct it.
You
Otherwise,
had
I got
to
blocked.
correct that shit.
Yeah, that's the extent of it. I got a very like Logan feel out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And actually,
it
this
did.
would actually pull me into wanting to learn more about the series.
Yeah.
And the only thing I think would suck was if you need to watch all of the Next Generation in order to like this series. I think it should be easier for viewers just to pick it up right here and not need to know anything else.
And I think they are. I think it's going to be one of those ones, sort of like Logan, where here's a standalone movie, but if you know the mythology, then you'll pick up little Easter eggs and stuff. I'm hoping that's what they do. Do we know who's directing it?
I mean, I'm hoping that's the case, but watching the trailer, they seem to be hinting of things that have happened in the past.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm watching that and I'm like, it looks good, but I feel like I'm going to be so confused.
Yeah.
And no, I don't know off the top of my head who's directing it.
So it's not JJ. It's not anybody that we know.
I don't think I have no idea.
I think originally it was meant to be a 10-episode miniseries, but I guess they're just going to see what happens with it.
Oh, that's interesting. That's good.
Cool. Well, you guys going to watch it or what?
Maybe. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like if I have to know the mythology, then there's no point because I don't know any of it. I don't know it because I could have sworn he died in one. I thought his character died, and I remember that they had a movie where they had the original and the Next Generation in a movie together.
Yeah.
But maybe it was the other one that died, the original. I don't know.
I mean, from the trailer, it seemed like maybe that the android sacrificed himself to save him. You know,
Data.
he pulls them out of the drawer. I don't know why he's keeping them in his dresser, but no, I might give it I'll give it a 3-episode try that I tend to give shows, and if I find myself that I'm falling behind because I don't have that background, then I might drop it.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
Well, I'll at least give it the first episode.
Yeah, that's it. Kind of go from there.
All
But
right,
it does
what-
look good, though.
What else we got, Jose?
Watchmen.
Watchmen. Okay.
Watchmen.
Dude, I'm really for that one. I mean, I love the comic book, the graphic novel.
I
right?
never read it.
It's awesome. The movie itself, it was okay, but it just felt like Zack Snyder literally just copied off the graphic novel
That's
and
'cause he
didn't
did.
do it exactly. It wasn't as good. The
Yeah.
graphic novel was so much better. But I'm excited about the TV series and to see Regina King as like the head person in this show. That's pretty cool, man. It's very different. So
Now, does this take place in the same universe as Zack Snyder's, and it's just in the future, or like what's the deal? Because
Well,
the original comic took place in like the 70s, right?
yeah, well, the movie too, though, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
Well,
the same thing.
the movie
yeah.
was exact replication of the comic.
Exactly. So in this one, I don't know if it's exactly Zack Snyder's movie, but it's still the same story. So
Yeah.
it is taking place in the same story, but I think it's
I think-
it takes years after, right?
Yeah,
Like today.
it's
It takes
gonna-
place like today based on the events that happened back
Yes.
then.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's going to be aftermath stuff. You get a little hint of that when they refer to Dr. Manhattan
Yeah.
and him being at Mars.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
video footage of him on Mars, that looked pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's the hint. Like this takes place after that with it. I'm gonna watch it. It got my curiosity.
Yes,
enough.
but it didn't blow me away.
Exactly. It got me
Yeah.
interested enough that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this a try and see where they're going.
Yeah.
They didn't reveal too much story wise, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm intrigued too. I just felt a little lost because I'm not too familiar with all the characters from the graphic novel and whatnot. It looks like there's a lot of information in there, and I just couldn't pick up on all of it. But I thought it looked okay enough to at least try out.
Well, for this one, I think that basically it's just Dr. Manhattan. I don't know if any of the other characters are even really in this, so everyone is going to be new. So it's all brand new.
What's his name?
Well, because like Rorschach died.
Yeah.
and-
Jeremy Irons is at the end. Doesn't he play the other guy, the blonde hair guy from
No, that one was it wasn't
Ozymandias
Jeremy
or something like that?
Oh, is he playing that? No, because Ozymandias died.
Yes.
Yeah, he died
Ozzy
too.
got killed.
So he's playing just somebody new. It's all new people. So,
Okay,
so
'cause
you don't
when
have
I-
to know the mythology.
When I first heard that they were making that series, I heard that Jeremy Irons was playing that character. Maybe it was just a rumor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's weird then.
I mean, maybe it's a
Died.
recast. He's
Yeah.
still playing the character. So
But the
they bring
character died though.
But they bring the character. But you never know.
Yeah.
In the comics, they actually recently over the last year they had when DC got the rights to Watchmen, they released a sequel in a way, something called Doomsday Clock.
I remember you said that,
And they
right?
brought
Yeah.
Rorschach back, so he's alive in the comics
How?
currently.
They just ignored it.
In there. I'm waiting for the series to complete,
gotcha,
and then I'm
gotcha,
gonna
okay.
read it. But I
Okay.
do know they did bring him back, and they brought Ozzy back.
Oh,
in
so
it,
maybe he is then.
and they explain it.
Yeah.
So there's always ways when it comes to the comic
Yeah,
world.
that's true. Exactly.
Cool.
The next one is Harley Quinn.
I just watched that trailer, and I gotta say that looks fun as fuck.
It does look fun as fuck.
Yeah, doesn't
does.
it?
Total R-rated. It's
Not
awesome.
for kids.
No.
Not at all. Don't be fooled by the animation.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember talking to you, Jose, about the DC animated movies and how they're great. Like you keep telling me, dude, they're so great, and I've watched them. They are, but the animation style still, I feel like they've always been stuck
Yes.
for a while, and it doesn't match what the story actually does.
Yeah.
And this one, I actually feel like they decided to write a story that matches their animation style. They made it like Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It just like, okay, I can get into this because it's really funny. It looked really fucking funny.
You remember, I pressed play on it, and the first thing she says there was like, "Hey, dick," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, this is
Yeah.
where we're going. All right."
I was just laughing the whole time and just seeing like how slapsticky and just great it was, and like people just dying.
Yeah.
You know
What's
what I
funny is that this morning, when I was watching it, I was literally right about to call Raven over to come watch it, and then right when I heard that line, I was like, "Whoa, never mind."
mean? And what did she say? Wasn't that was fucking fun? Let's do it again or some shit
And
like
I
that.
was like, "No."
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
Oh
like,
man,
"Oh, that's cool."
Yeah,
Dude,
so-
I'm down to watch that.
So it looks like, they're just gonna go off the rails with this, just have fun with it, and that is, out of the DC characters, that is the character you do it with. She is basically DC's Deadpool in the comics.
yeah.
Yeah.
Her comics usually don't fit in with everything else that's going on.
like
It's
its own
always its
standalone.
own thing. She breaks the fourth wall. She's
Yeah.
always messing around. So like everything's going to shit in all the other comics, and Harley's just doing Harley.
I didn't notice Poison Ivy in this. Was she in it?
Yes.
She was in the trailer? Okay.
I didn't- oh,
Yeah, there's the part, because in the comics there's the hinted romance between Harley
Yeah.
and Poison Ivy, and you see that in this trailer. You've got the scene where they fall on top of each other and they give each other the look.
yeah. That's true. So they're going to hint it. I wonder if they're actually going to take it that
I
way,
think they
you know?
will.
Yeah.
When is that being released?
That's this year on DC Universe.
Oh, really?
So I think like fallish.
Oh, that'd be cool. Let's check it out, man. I'm excited.
And
to
it's just
watch
a
that.
movie, right? It's not
No,
a
no,
TV
it's a
show?
series. It's
Oh,
a
it
cartoon.
is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Oh,
like they
shit.
going
I'm
full
super
Rick and Morty,
excited.
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. All right.
Yeah, it's going to be one of their. And DC Universe so far has done very well with their TV series. They've all been quality.
Yeah. But you know what? I totally agree with what you're saying about the animation. It
Yeah.
feels like they got kind of stuck with the whole Batman animated
Yeah.
design, and they just really haven't evolved
I would
much.
really love for DC to do a 3D animation.
Yeah.
You know, like what they did with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
So just like the
Oh, man,
Pixar
that'd be
stuff.
amazing.
You know what I mean? Can you
Yeah.
imagine how cool that would be if DC did a story like that? I don't
They
know
could actually
why.
release it in theaters too.
Yeah, they tried something different a couple years ago, and it didn't go right. But that's because the story wasn't good, and that was with Batman Ninja, and then they tried more of that, Japanese animation style.
Oh, like anime. type of-
Yes, they tried more that style, but the story wasn't good, so it failed.
That sucks.
That sucks, man. I hope they do some 3D animation. That'd be really fucking dope.
That would be rad.
All right, what else we got, Jose?
Next one, following the path of Hannah, we have a good quality movie being turned into TV show, Snowpiercer.
I never saw the
yeah.
movie. I'm an idiot. I never saw the
The
movie.
movie was good.
Really good.
I really
Yeah.
liked it. Yeah, it's really,
Really good.
surprised
Captain
me.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically, isn't it like in the future, the
Yes.
apocalypse, everything's covered in snow and everybody just lives on this train? Isn't that what
Yes.
it is?
And it's all breaking out by like classes.
Yeah.
So like at the front of the train is like your first class, your upper class and all that stuff. And you kinda work your way
okay.
back, so
I saw the
really good.
trailer. The trailer looked all right.
But it was interesting because you think, oh, that's it. That's how they do it. It's like, no, even the food is divided by the different classes and all that, and their living conditions. And it was very interesting. It was a lot smarter than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a rise up movie.
Yeah.
And I'm curious because, like, with Hannah, I enjoyed Hannah the movie.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
But then I was like, well, how are you going to do a whole series? Extend this
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
over a whole series? Then I watched the series. I'm like, this is better than the movie.
See, I still haven't seen this series.
I
Yeah,
haven't
it
seen either.
It was better. You got there's it slows down a little bit at the middle area, but overall you get so much more and so much build up with the characters that I prefer it over the movie.
So when he first said, "How are they gonna do this as a TV show?" the guy that's making it's like, "Fuck you, Jose." I know
Yeah.
exactly how I'm gonna do it as a TV show. You're gonna watch it and you're gonna eat it.
And I was like, okay, I
Yeah,
love it.
okay.
But I feel with this one, maybe it has the same potential. They can expand more on the mythology, get more into what got them to that point, see a little bit more of the suffering that leads to the the revolt, to against the first class. So we'll see.
I guess we will see. All right, what's next?
Next one, the Superman's The Witcher.
The Witcher. That's a video game, right?
Yes, it's I think done like 3 different installments. It's one of those intense, like 200-hour like RPG games.
They punch you in the face right through the screen. That's how intense it is.
Yeah, not my style. I remember watching the trailer for the game. I'm like, "Oh, this looks really interesting." And a friend of mine got it, and it was like months later, and they're still playing. And they were like, "Yeah, it's over 200 hours, and that's if you do it quick."
Damn, quick. It's like,
Well, yeah, because there's so much you have to do, and those are not my type of games. But like I said, it's about 3 installments in, so it's very popular. People do love it.
Just quickly break down the plot of what the game is about. Like, what is it? It's a monster hunter or what?
From my knowledge, it's a guy who gets sent on errands to go fight monsters and all of that.
Because that sounds cool.
yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's an adventure. It's
Okay.
an adventure RPG game. So it's in the world where you have all these monsters and kingdoms and kings and queens and all of that stuff.
So the trailer came out. What did you think of it?
I'll give it a try just because I like Cavill.
Yeah.
But then again, this is a personal bias. That type of genre is not up on my personal favorites. Like I liked Lord of the Rings series. I like it. It was good. It was enjoyable.
Game of Thrones.
But like I don't hold it on the pedestal like everyone else does. But
Yeah.
that's because my own personal taste is not my preferred type of movie.
Okay.
Game of Thrones was an anomaly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a unicorn.
Yeah, it was an anomaly for me where I was like, I love this fucking show.
The Great White Buffalo.
But besides that, I can admit it's a personal bias that the trailer doesn't excite me as much.
Okay. Nice. I mean, we saw the trailer, and I thought it looked okay. It could be cool. But my big problem is that Henry Cavill doesn't talk in the whole fucking trailer. There's Superman in him again. Like, what the hell, man? Give him some acting to
And
do.
his hair looked a little weird. Like it looks a little fake. Like you know what I mean? Like he looks like a beefed out Legolas.
But I do hope it does well because I want Warner Brothers to regret not pursuing a new Superman movie with him. So, fuck, man. But you never know. Yeah, sometimes something doesn't look that great, and you watch it. It's actually like really fucking good.
I'll definitely.
You were
try
saying
it.
that the other day about that other show that you discovered. Remember, Jose?
Oh, yeah, Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I actually enjoyed it.
Is
See, this whole time, there are 3 seasons in.
Yeah.
And this whole time, I kept thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, it's some period piece
That's what I thought.
about some maids during war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. Absolutely nothing
No?
like that. Very dark.
Yeah, check it.
Takes place actually in like modern time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We'll have to discuss it
Okay,
another
I'll
time.
have to
But
check it.
But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes things don't look that great, and you watch it. It's like, holy shit, that was actually pretty good.
I thought that with Midsummer. That's why I was asking if you guys seen it.
Oh,
The
no, I
movie
haven't
was so
seen it.
much better than what I thought it was. I
Oh,
was
really?
so under like and then I saw it and I was like, whoa, this is actually pretty good.
I gotta go check that out.
so this, I mean, at least I'll give it a try to see if it surprises me. Hopefully, it's not over 200 hours.
Yeah.
All right, what's up next, Jose?
The last trailer we have here is Top Gun 2:
Maverick.
Return of Maverick.
Dude, that trailer was pretty awesome, man. Just like cinematically,
It
was
surprised
really
the hell
cool.
out of me.
Yeah,
man.
I agree.
It was-
I was watching it, and just the way it's filmed, like
Yeah.
you said, visually, really appealing. I really liked it. It didn't give up much story wise, so I'm curious to get another
Which is
trailer to
fine,
see
yeah.
what's the story, what's the plot of this.
Yeah.
But visually, it got me hyped.
Yeah, I remember when I brought it up, I was with my brother and we brought it up and like we're ready to laugh at it, like, oh God, like rolling the eyes already. Here we go. And we started watching and I was like, ooh, that's actually shot really well.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it's made well.
Yeah.
Technically. Like
Do you guys think it was Tom Cruise actually flying that jet? Do you think he was?
Right, or
No, I'm just saying because you know how he likes to
the
do
actual actor.
Like he does a lot of his own stunts.
True, but that's not a real
I'm going to say
stunt.
no, but not for lack of trying.
Exactly.
They probably like, no, you're not flying this
Yes.
expensive ass jet.
But did he
That's what
fly
I'm
a
thinking.
helicopter for Mission Impossible?
Helicopter, yes.
Yeah.
That's
These
different,
jets
though,
price tag are a lot higher than a
Yeah.
helicopter.
But still, like it puts you in the cockpit better than any other movie has in this trailer. Just by changing the angle of the camera. Usually, whenever they show a guy in a cockpit of a fighter pilot, it's usually down low where his controls are looking up.
just
This is
straight
the
at,
opposite.
yeah.
You could see everything behind him. It looked fucking crazy awesome.
It did, but my question, like, we didn't see Val Kilmer in the trailer, right? But we know he's in it, and with his current condition, like, how is that gonna work?
I don't know, but that's again, they didn't reveal much. That's why I
Yeah.
want another trailer.
His current condition.
Well, he had I think throat or jaw cancer
That's
or something.
right. Oh, I
remember?
forgot. Yeah,
he couldn't even talk, and then he was in a movie or something with it where he can literally barely talk, and this was like maybe 4 years ago. So
Oh, wow.
I don't know how that's gonna work. I mean, I don't know, but that's why you don't see him anymore.
We'll see. I'm looking forward to another trailer for it. You know, sometimes one trailer is enough to sell me, and I'm like, I don't need to see another trailer.
Yeah.
With this was like enough to get my attention. Be like, all right, that looks good, but now I need a trailer to be like, okay, what is this about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But it so far started off on a really good note for me. 'Cause
I think
thought
it,
was gonna be
it's an
trash.
excellent first look at that movie.
Dude, and it makes you think, like, with Tom Cruise, I mean, he is consistent. He consistently does good movies. I mean, he really does. And I think he's, everyone talks about the action star, but it's like, but he's still a decent actor. I mean, he chooses good parts and he works with good filmmakers. His movies do come out good,
Yeah, that's right.
So,
All right. Is that all the trailers from Comic-Con?
Yeah, those are the major trailers that we would be able to talk about because we know.
yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the news, all the big announcements made at Comic-Con.
Yeah, I think we should first start off with the one that made the biggest splash, and let's get into some of the Marvel news. So, one announcement from the Marvel is Thor: Love and Thunder.
That looks really good, dude.
Dude, yeah.
Taika's back and Natalie Portman. That's going to be great.
Wow, that's why I saw that, and I remember Natalie Portman mentioning that she never said she wouldn't come back, but it just didn't do anything for her.
Yeah.
That being in that. First
I mean,
one.
it might be that they're going to give her a bigger role because
Yeah.
from what they said, they're going to have her become the female Thor because that happens in the comics. Jane Foster becomes
Yeah.
a female Thor. So they're going to do that for this. They announced it during the panel.
Oh,
so I'm
wow.
guessing that probably helped convincing her where it's like, okay, you're not just going to be
Yeah.
the
Jane
love
Foster.
interest.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have a bigger role.
Yeah, especially with Natalie Portman, man, she's better than just a love interest.
Yeah.
Like she's so freaking good.
Yeah,
man.
she's great.
Like,
and
amazing.
and just in where Thor is at after Endgame, spoiler alert in case anybody hasn't read it. Like the bad shape that he's in, it feels like that would be the next story part for him is to find love or just to I don't know, man. It just feels like the right Thor movie to make.
But sadly, it also ends. Was it Guardians or As Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
It's like, that's not gonna happen.
Well, you never know when this is taking place and when the other one takes place.
That's true.
But it's cool, man. I really hope that they give him like a training montage where he loses the weight. Because they were supposed to do that in Endgame. Did you know that? They were going to do it in Endgame, and Chris Hemsworth said, no, I want to
glad.
be like this for the rest of the movie. Like, Thor needs this. And it's such a great idea to do.
necessary. Exactly that, because we've seen Thor cut Thor in like so many movies already. This was like you gave us something different.
And it's just like the biggest enemy is like self-hatred.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like when people get depressed and they get in those moods, it's like great to see a hero go through that, you know? Like that's what I felt was like the next step for Thor. And I actually resonated with that a lot. Me and my gut laughing at Fat Thor in Endgame, you know?
And you're right. We don't know when it's going to take place. One of the announcements that was missing here is they didn't say anything about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
No,
And-
but we know it is happening.
We know
because-
it's
yeah.
happening, but is the reason why because maybe they're going in and changing things up a little bit to include Thor since he left with them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's a possibility.
yeah, but the title though for Thor sounds awesome.
Yeah, no,
doesn't it?
in just the way it looks too.
The logo, did it not give you like a Masters of the Universe?
Yeah.
Like
Because
Because they're
look
making
there?
one of those too. They're making a Masters of the
Yeah.
Universe.
It felt
movie.
very 80s. What was that animated movie? Heavy Metal, right? It
Yes.
looked kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Like you can hear the 80s rock
Yeah.
music playing. You can hear ACDC DC.
That's going to be so great, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what Taika does because he's a great filmmaker. He brought Thor
is,
Ragnarok.
man.
Like it wasn't until his movie that people realized this is what we do with Thor.
Yes.
And it just works so fucking well. I love Ragnarok. And he's the only major character that got a fourth movie, that's getting a fourth movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just appearing in other movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was going to say something else, but I know you're going to mention the other announcement, so I'll wait.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Doctor Strange is finally getting a sequel.
Oh, yeah.
It
yes.
took this long.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus.
Well, we can jump right straight into Doctor Strange.
What's the title of that one?
Multiverse of Madness.
Damn, that's
2021.
But I also noticed that it had Elizabeth Olsen in it, which means Scarlet Witch then must be tied into this a lot.
Yeah, and
So
we actually will get into that later.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, that comes out in 2021, and it seems like they're gonna lean more towards horror in this one, which I like, because one thing for MCU to continue going forward is they're gonna have to add a little more variety of the feel
And the genres
of their
almost,
movies
yeah.
and the genres that they're hitting
Yeah.
in there, because for a while still amazing and good, a lot of their movies were feeling kind of the same
Yeah.
on there. So if they are going to dip a little more into the horror genre with this, I welcome it 100%.
Yeah,
Cool.
because the Infinity Saga is done, and so you do need a new type of style to take into this new saga that they're going to be making. So that makes a lot of sense, not to keep doing the same way, making the movies the same way as they did before. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I mean, but it has been a long time since we got a Doctor Strange sequel.
And then this one's not till 2021. So, we're going to get Black Widow first.
Okay.
So we can get into that one. That was in 2020.
So that has to be a prequel then.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
I
That's
mean,
the one they're actually filming right now.
exactly. It's like a month into filming, but they did reveal the villain for this, and the villain is going to be a character called Taskmaster.
Oh, okay.
In there.
Oh,
who
I've heard of him.
Yes, and he actually is a pretty, I guess, a lethal villain when it comes to non-powered
Is that who
heroes.
Hopper is in it, or no? Who's playing Taskmaster? Do we know?
Oh, I don't know.
I
No,
don't-
it's not David
Yeah.
Harbour.
Oh, okay, because he's in this too, right?
Yes.
I heard
Okay.
a theory about Black Widow, the Black Widow movie, and it was a fan theory from Endgame. They're saying, when spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Endgame, skip ahead a couple of seconds. When Hulk put on the new Infinity Gauntlet and he snapped, bringing everybody back, they're saying that she was brought back, but she's still on Vormir, and so the movie's gonna be about how she gets back to Earth, and it's gonna be a lot of like.
But see,
Flashbacks and
my only
stuff.
thing to that is like, how does she come back then? Because then that means Gamora would have to come back, and then there'd be two Gamoras
No,
because they both died the same way for the Soul Stone.
No, because the newest Gamora was confirmed to not have made it by the Russo brothers.
Yeah, but then why would Scarlet come back then if she died the same way that Gamora died?
Yeah, I'm
No,
gonna
because he was just bringing back. I don't know. He
I'm-
said
I'm
because you
saying-
remember how he said he tried to bring her back.
Yeah, but he
she
couldn't.
wasn't there. But that's because it happened on Vormir. So you never know. He could
I
have
see what you're
singled
saying.
her out to bring her
I
back.
see
But
what you're
I don't think that's gonna
Yeah, I
happen.
don't
But
think
but
so.
it just sounds kind of
Yeah.
cool.
yeah, I don't think so. And in the little video clip that they released, it was taking place on Earth.
Yeah.
And her fighting on I think it was like a bridge or something. But as I was saying, with this villain, what makes him formidable to non-powered heroes like Black Widow or Captain America is his ability is photogenic reflexes. So just by looking, he is able to memorize and copy people's fighting and their styles and their movements.
That's gonna be such
Yeah, we
badass
got
fight
that
sequence.
in the Spider-Man PS4 game. You got to experience that. That was really cool.
Yeah, so I think that could be good because they're pairing up with someone formidable and someone that's not overpowered, but someone that's going to be a threat to
Yeah,
her.
that's good.
Nice.
That'd be pretty good, man. They got a good cast, and they have that girl that was in Midsommar that's in it too. She was in
gotta
the
see that
Fighting with My Family.
I haven't
Oh,
I don't know
yes.
her name,
Yeah,
but that,
I know who you're talking about.
yeah.
You're talking about the brunette. in
Yeah,
Final
yep,
Fantasy. Yes.
yep.
The next one, which is also coming out next year, is the Eternals, in 2020. Now this, I don't know too much about the Eternals. They're not, your major squad, your X-Men, your big guys, but it is created by Jack Kirby.
Is this one that Keanu's in or no?
No,
Isn't he in
Keanu wasn't
something?
confirmed to anything. The only thing that was confirmed that Keanu does meet with them every once in a while about movies.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so all I know is it's created by Jack Kirby. It's like these immortal aliens that are sent to protect Earth by this group called the Celestials, which were basically like creators of the multiverse.
Okay, so is this a different dimension than ones that would have superheroes? So like they don't cross paths with.
Well, with the Celestials, it's like all the they're like creators. So
okay.
Yeah, it's everything. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think at least from what I remember reading certain aspects from the comics is they kind of messed around with humans at the beginning, and which is what led to our evolving into what we are. But then at the same time, they also created, I think they're called deviants. And that's the threat in the comics. And they send the Eternals, who are immortal aliens, to go protect Earth against these deviants. I don't know how much of that they're going to bring into the movie. All I know is Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek are in it.
Yeah.
And all I know is I like it when you say deviants. It's a very nice deviant word.
Yeah, but this one I'm going to be going in like I was originally into
It's a movie,
Guardians of the
right?
Galaxy.
It's a movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Like I was originally going into Guardians of the Galaxy, which is I didn't know too much about the source material, if anything at all. So it was just fresh look coming in here and like blow me away.
Yeah,
we
exactly. I remember with Guardians afterwards was when I started doing my research on it, and then that's when I found out, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But yeah, same way. I went in there completely open-minded, and I think I'm gonna do the same with this one.
And there's no, they're just announcing the movie. There was no trailer or anything, right?
No.
They announced some of the cast members.
Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek were two of the major ones. They announced other ones, but those are the two that stuck out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I remember that. All right, what other news we got, bud?
The other movie that's coming out is Shang-Chi 2021. This is going to be Marvel's first live-action Asian superhero.
Is it basically like martial arts? Is it kind of like Iron Fist, sort of?
From what I know of him, he was considered like the master of like kung fu.
Okay.
I know at a certain point he had a power. I don't know if they'll give him the power in this. He had the power to duplicate himself. But he's considered one of the top fighters. I think like he helped train Wolverine.
So what you're saying is basically they're making a biopic of Bruce Lee. Is what you're saying?
He kind of looks like Bruce Lee.
The only thing I do hope for this is that they shoot at least the action like a kung fu movie. I think that would be fun.
You kind of have to, right?
Like that would be really cool.
It's gonna be what Iron Fist was trying to be.
Yeah. Oh my
basically.
god! Don't you dare say that name. My fist started to glow because I want to punch that dude in the face.
But this, like Eternals, an example of them trying to bring up names and groups and characters that weren't their A squad in the comics, pretty much. Shang-Chi isn't your A squad.
Yeah.
I don't think he's even B squad. But they're going to bring him up.
I never even heard of him, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they did it with other characters. No, originally Iron Man was an A squad before the movies. He was known, but he was more of your B squad character.
Yeah.
And the next announcement was Blade 2021 with
Wesley Snipes.
I'm gonna butcher this name, but Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's in everything now. He's been slowly, like just the last couple of years, that guy just came out of nowhere, and he's
such a
good.
good
He's
actor.
really good.
Yeah, he is.
I'm torn.
I'm excited. Really?
I'm torn.
Because of Wesley Snipes' lack of involvement?
No, not that.
Oh.
It would be great if he was in it.
Yeah.
I love this actor. He's a great. He's a great actor. But when I was thinking Blade, I really wanted someone with martial arts background.
Oh,
I wanted someone because when I think Blade, I think fight scenes. You know, kicking ass, fighting those vampires.
They'll get him a stunt double. They'll get him a stunt
But it's
double.
just,
I'm sure go through
but it's
training
not
now.
always the same because you don't get those fights. You get more of the quick cut fighting, or they have to hide it in a way where you don't see his face, and it's just not
That's
the
true.
same.
And that goes with the original Blade, right? Because Wesley Snipes was trained. Like, he was good. That's why the action sequences work so well.
For a while, even though he's not a great actor, like I picture Jay White,
Who's that?
Michael Jay White.
Nuh-uh.
He's been in a ton of like B movies, but,
okay.
but he's he's a black belt, like
Yeah.
17 champion.
nice.
He's done a bunch of martial art movies, but he's not a great actor, so he doesn't get these bigger movies.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if we can have someone like that,
Yeah.
where every fight scene is just going to be epic.
Yeah.
So it's nothing against. I love the actor, but that disappointed me a little bit. But I'm like, I hope he trains to fight by the time it comes out.
What disappoints me is that it's not Wesley Snipes, because I really just want to see old ass Wesley Snipes just be a curmudgeon old vampire daywalker.
And do you remember do you remember what Ryan Reynolds said for part 3, that he wouldn't even show up and be in the scenes? Like, he never even really had acting scenes with Wesley Snipes. He just never showed up, and he just shot his medium shots separately from everybody.
That's
Also, like,
funny.
imagine a new movie of that, but like old Wesley.
No, I would want the documentary of that movie. That's
the
what would be
making
really
of,
great.
yeah.
Well, it's like age-wise though, it's not much of a difference between him and Ali.
Yeah.
There's only like a 5-year difference. I think
is it
Ali's
really?
like
Wow.
45 and Wesley Snipes like 50.
Oh,
But you know he's gonna kill it. He's gonna kill it.
Oh,
Yeah, he's gonna kill it. The acting part
I have
of
no
it,
doubt
yeah.
about his performance. And they'll make the fights work somehow.
Yeah.
I just think, unless he really trains fighting wise,
And it's a movie.
fight's gonna
right?
be better.
It's a movie, right? Not
Yes.
a TV
Yeah, it's a
series.
movie.
I think it would have worked so well as a TV series.
Yeah, it would. I
And
think
then they
so.
could have casted somebody like you said. They wouldn't need the big name actor.
Yeah.
They could have gotten somebody that's real more martial arts trained. I would have seen, it's basically like True Blood, but with like a better True Blood. It's like True Blood with like action and stuff.
with
It's like
fighting.
awesome. Yeah.
All right, what other news we got, buddy?
The rest of them are actually TV shows.
Yeah.
So we have Falcon and the Winter Soldier, 2020.
I'm not gonna watch
I
it.
don't care about that.
Yeah,
either.
this one it's only gonna be 6 episodes.
Good.
Okay.
They announced
five
the,
too many.
Yeah, they announced the villain is the return of Zemo.
Okay.
And
He's
they're-
coming
which
back.
one's Zemo again?
He's
Zemo
from
from-
Civil War.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So it's gonna be Return of Zemo, and his attire now is gonna be closer to the comics in there, and it's actually the director of the Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I see how the whole plan and payoff. I see what you did by
Yeah.
mentioning that now. Clever.
The next show is WandaVision 2021.
Oh, God, what a stupid name.
Yeah.
Dude. It sounds like WonkaVision. Like, that's what it sounds like. When I saw that, I was like, that is such a ridiculous name. Like, oh, hey, Jose, you want to hang out? Saturday night, let's go to bar. Nah, I can't, man. I got to watch my newest episode of WandaVision. I'm like, oh.
It feels like something where they like just sell products, like QVC.
Yeah. Like women
that's-
products.
And that's exactly what the show is about.
Yeah.
She's just hanging out with a computer buying shit.
Yeah. So with this one, it takes place after Endgame. So it'll be curious to see how they bring Vision back.
Because they had the actor up there with her, so
Yeah.
you know he's in it.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
it's in the name.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
WandaVision.
true. Yeah, that's true.
So it'll be curious to see how they bring him back. The other thing with it is that it's supposed to tie directly into Doctor Strange too.
Ooh, okay.
So this is why I was saying that
Yeah.
we'll talk about it. So what happens in this leads into Doctor Strange too. So they're gonna link the show to the movie.
That's interesting. And I'm glad because her character was very cool, and they didn't give. I mean, they had no time, but like we didn't get that much of her. So I'm glad they're doing this miniseries and then setting her up for the movies because her character's good.
Same thing with Vision, too. I
Yeah.
like Vision a lot.
Yeah, and hopefully they continue to build up with what they showed of her abilities in Endgame and Infinity War, because she is one of the most powerful beings.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they're ever going to address if she's Magneto's daughter or not. Are they just going to just ignore that?
I think in this universe,
she's not, huh?
I mean, who knows? Now that they have X-Men. Originally, it
Yeah.
was because they didn't have the rights to X-Men.
So I wonder if they're going to play that into it now.
So we'll see about that. The other interesting thing that they talked about here is, do you remember the character Rambo from?
Oh, yeah, Captain Marvel?
From Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
She's gonna be in this, but grown up, because Captain Marvel took place in the
in
past.
the 90s, right?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
So
Oh,
she's gonna be
you
in
mean
it.
her daughter.
Yes.
Okay, her daughter is going to be grown up.
So
Okay,
it could be the grown up version, and I guess Rambo, that character in the comics, was I think the second Captain Marvel
Okay.
in there. So who knows what they do with that?
Hopefully they
Reboot?
have her take her completely and then just remove Brie Larson.
We don't know what we were going to do with that long pause. We all know what to do. Just
Yeah,
replace Brie Larson,
exactly.
please.
Let's have it start now, 2.0.
The next show, I'm really looking forward to this one, 2021, Loki.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So I could see that.
This takes place during Endgame. So this starts at the point where he disappears with the Tesseract. So we're gonna see where did he go. And the other interesting part, this isn't reformed Loki that we see in Thor and stuff. Right. This is still like Avengers mischievous evil Loki.
Still doesn't trust his brother and all that other stuff.
Exactly. So we're getting back to the old Loki, and we're gonna get to fill in the blank of what the hell happened to Loki.
Yeah. Cool. Out of all those side stories that are TV shows, Loki would be the one I'd be interested in seeing the most. I mean, just because he's an awesome character. Love him or hate him, he's an awesome character, and he's the one I feel like deserves a side show or something.
He does. The only thing I would ask is I want to see a different side of Loki. Like, we've seen him in so many movies already, and especially the first few ones, he was very I don't want to say one-dimensional, but kind of one-dimensional. You
just don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, exactly. In this one, since he's going to be our main character, it's like we're going to see all these behind the villainy. Like, we're going to see a lot of different layers. I just hope they do that well.
I agree. Cool. The other one is Hawkeye 2021.
God, I don't give a fuck.
but hey, there's hope. There's hope.
Why?
There's hope. So this takes place after Endgame. And I guess the main concept of it is him training this character called Kate Bishop. And in the comics, she takes the mantle of Hawkeye.
Okay.
Oh, so they could do it where he's like a mentor or something.
This could be the last thing for Renner, where they use this show to transfer Hawkeye to Kate Bishop. And then she takes over as Hawkeye into the movies, which allows them to start fresh with a new character.
You know what I would do? If they end up doing that, I would literally not watch the show, go on Wikipedia, and just read the little 3 sentences that's basically summed up what the series was about. I'm good enough.
I think I will read that to you and get the same satisfaction.
But I want you to do a character voice when you do it.
Yes, Hawkeye, he sucks. Here's a new Hawkeye. The end.
That's funny.
But we'll see that. The last show that they announced is an animated series in 2021 called What If.
Oh yes, and I know the comic books that were like that.
They got
That's awesome.
What is What If?
What If
real quick?
Yeah, it's pretty much one shots of comics of what if something different. So what if Spider-Man joined Fantastic Four?
Oh,
what if this happened?
MJ got the spider instead of Peter Parker. So then we see
and
that.
it tells that one short story doing that. This is going to be animated and it's going to be narrated by the Watcher.
Oh, ooh, okay. That could be really cool. I'd be down for that.
So that's the whole thing. So what if? And you have to do it in animation because now you can literally break the realm of reality and do whatever you want.
Yeah, and they're gonna have the actors that play these characters. They're gonna do the voices for it.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Marvel's so good, so good.
Okay.
The other announcement is so this is more on the comic side. But I think it's a good sign. Marvel is starting groundwork in the X-Men, comics.
Setting them up for the movies.
Yeah. So what Marvel likes to do, and this is why I knew Blade was coming, is they've been featuring Blade a lot more in the comics. They even did a Blade versus Wolverine issue like a couple weeks ago. So they do that when they want to bring characters into the forefront before they introduce them.
Test them out.
So what they've been doing now is they've reduced all the X-Men to these 2 plot lines, these 2 stories, which are going to serve as basically a reboot, basically to get X-Men back in line because they're nowhere close as popular as they were in the past.
Yeah.
And their goal is once these 2 stories ends, then they're going to refreshen the X-Men and try to get them where they should be. So I think that's a good sign of them working towards bring them into their movie universe.
Dude, man, X-Men went off so badly off the rails when they started including all these new X-Men and these new X-Men, and it was just too many, man. It was like too many to keep a hold of, and it's like, I don't like these ones. I like the original ones. I like the ones that I like.
X-Planet.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll do that. Actually, moving away from Marvel, one of the other big announcements is Doom Patrol was a really good series on DC Universe. Unfortunately, DC Universe doesn't have the high level of subscribers yet because they're just starting up. So people are worried, like, are we going to get a season 2? DC is going to team up with HBO for Doom Patrol season 2. I guess HBO liked Doom Patrol.
Oh, so they're going to air it on there?
So it's going to be air on both. So I think when season 2 debuts, they're gonna bring season 1 to HBO.
Nice. Okay.
And then,
Cool.
eventually it will be streaming on both of them. So I guess HBO really liked Doom Patrol.
They should do that with Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Well, that opens up the window, though. It brings hope. Swamp Thing isn't over yet.
Yeah.
But once it's done, if people really love it, and so far people that I've talked to really do enjoy it, whether it's HBO or someone else, be like, hey, can we have a similar deal and bring that over?
Just like Rorschach and Ozymandias.
Bring them back.
Bring them back.
And I think the last major news that I have here that appeals to us is the fact that Edward Furlong is returning to Terminator Dark Fate.
buddy.
It has to be Fat Eddie, right? He can't lose that much weight.
Well, I've heard things that he's been going back to the gym. And they're probably just doing that just to make it CGI enough.
I mean,
just enough to get...
they said the same thing with like Princess Leia and Mark Hamill, but it's like then you see them in the movie and it's just like, yeah, I'm sure they lost some weight, but like they still grossly out of shape.
Yeah, I wonder what is going to happen with that because I had the theory that because we didn't see him in the trailers, I thought that he was going to die. I thought John Connor was going to die, and then the inevitably would be a new type of John Connor. And I thought that was going to happen in this, but it's very well could. Who knows? Maybe John Connor dies in the opening of this movie. We have no idea what they're going to do.
Chokes on the turkey sandwich.
I know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
John Connor is going to be the man in the chair. And he never leaves the chair.
That explains it.
Just like,
I get it now.
Mountain Dews, Cheetos, and giving directions.
Yeah.
But man, I can't. That comes out this fall, right? No,
November 1st, I believe.
November. Damn, man. Well, I hope it does well. Even if it's looks shitty, I'm still gonna see it because it's a Terminator movie, and I will always watch a Terminator movie.
Was good, and I'm glad they're going rated R. A Terminator movie should be rated R.
They should be. It's just I just don't have any confidence though because they just haven't. It's so hard. Terminator 2 is one of the greatest action movies of all time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely one of the greatest.
They peaked very early.
Yeah. They did.
Well, I'm glad that they're doing a direct sequel to that and retconning everything else. So that's going to be fun. At least that's like the trend nowadays in movies. They did that with Halloween, and I think they did it with. They're doing it with
Ghostbusters.
They're doing Ghostbusters. We fucked up. Yeah. Let's just forget it.
Jurassic World.
And I like it because it opens up so many more doors. Yeah. Because audiences they don't really care about continuity that much anymore as long as you give them a good movie. So
just give us a good movie, man.
All right. Any other topics about Comic-Con this year that we're missing?
No.
Are we good?
I mean, the only thing I was gonna say is just it seems like this particular year of Comic-Con it was kind of more quieter than it's usually been. I mean, there's still big events, but it's just
like Kevin was saying is over the last few years you've had people, and this has happened with different conventions, also video game conventions that you've had major people kind of dropping out, wanting to do their own separate thing. Like we're gonna have our own convention and announce it.
That's true. Especially Disney.
Disney's been doing that. So like the last time Marvel was prevalent was 2017. And that's when they announced like Ant-Man and Wasp and and all of that. So here they are now 2 years later, and they were featured heavily. Yeah. So it was all about them.
Nice. That's true, yeah. And then also just D&D dropping out for Game of Thrones, like because of the backlash that they got for the series. Yeah. The day before they dropped out.
What happened?
They dropped out of the panel the day before, the two showrunners.
The day before they were supposed to do their thing, they drop out the day before because they were just nervous of all the
rumor is they didn't want to get the backlash in person.
It's like, but why would you drop out the day before?
Yeah,
man? Like you knew you already had the anxiety, you knew you weren't going to do it.
Yeah, at least come up with a valid excuse weeks before that seems believable. You do the day before, everyone's like, yeah, we know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And these are the guys in charge of new Star Wars movies.
Anyway. And that tells you they're that sensitive about this stuff. Like, oh my God.
All right, well, it's time to wrap everything up. I think we'll wrap it up with one cool piece of news that Kevin Feige announced that by Monday morning, Avengers Endgame will be the highest grossing movie of all time. So that's cool. That's something cool to think about.
Yeah, I'm glad it jumped to number one. Yeah. Avatar is so overrated.
Avatar, way overrated. Take it out.
Well, thank you, everybody, for stopping by the Too High McFly podcast channel. Don't forget to give us a like, comment down below what you thought about all these new trailers. And if you guys are listening to us on Spotify or SoundCloud, travel over to our YouTube page and see our short films and other movie reviews and a whole bunch of other content on there for you. You can also reach out to us on Twitter at Too High McFly Productions and on Instagram at Too High McFly Productions. Yeah. I'm Kevin Lyons.
Dan de Sangre.
I'm Jose Ramos.
And we'll see you guys next time.